नानक नाम जहाज है, चढ़े सो उतरे पार। जो शरदा कर सेव दे, गुर पार उतारन हार। हम वो नहीं है जो झुक जाए, हर तूफान से हम टकराए। हम वो नहीं है जो झुक जाए, हर तूफान से हम टकराए। हर सपनों को मिले मंजिलें, यह अपॉर्चुनिटी इंडिया। नए रास्ते हर पल बने अपने ख्वाबों का इंडिया। We're rising high, we're rising high. Oh, 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 gonna touch the sky. Oh, 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 we're rising high, we're rising high. Oh, 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 gonna touch the sky. पंख दिलाए, उंगली से मुट्ठी बनाए। हम तो हरदम ही यार बाजी मार जाए। नाम जब गिले ना हो, ना तेरा न मेरा हो, मैप पे रोशन बस एक नाम हमारा हो। शाइनिंग इंडिया दूर नहीं है, फ्यूचर जिसका हम वही है। हर सपनों को मिले मंजिलें, यह फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया। नए रास्ते हर पल बने अपने ख्वाबों का इंडिया। We're rising high, we're rising high. Oh, 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 gonna touch the sky. At Franchise India Group, we believe the future belongs to the entrepreneurs and their best rewards are yet to come. Gonna touch the sky.
Good afternoon, one and all. Yes, at Franchise India, we truly believe that everybody should get a proper opportunity and right selection. Hence, every day we are organizing webinar series, Business Opportunity Over Chai. And today we welcome you to the 44th edition of this particular series. The flow of the webinar would be, first, we'll talk about the brand. 20-25 minutes, we'll speak on brand, and then probably our panelist and our brand representative will talk about the journey, and we'll take all your question and answers. With this introduction, I welcome in our panel, we have Gaurav Maria, who is the chairman, Franchise India Group, an entrepreneur and author. We also welcome our second panelist, Sonia Chaudhary. She is the MD at Franchise India Brands Limited and director at Remax. And this particular webinar is hosted by both of them. So formal welcome to Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. Today, yes, today we are welcoming you for a great opportunity. Franchise India is proud to bring the brand of the day, Mahindra, the name which is close to every Indian, a leading multinational vehicle manufacturing corporation. Talking about facts and figures, Mahindra was ranked 17th on the list of top companies in India by Fortune India 500 in year 2018. A federation of companies with more than 7 decades of experience, $20.7 billion entrepreneur, 100 countries bound by one purpose, only one purpose, to rise. Mahindra First Choice Service, India's leading multi-brand car workshop, is a wholly owned subsidiary of Mahindra & Mahindra, with presence in more than 280 cities and 25 states. With this introduction, I welcome Mr. Alok Kapoor, who is the franchisee business head for Mahindra First Choice speaker. Thank you so much, Alok sir, for taking out time. and interacting with all our investors. With this introduction, I invite you for the for presentation of your brand. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Archana. Thank you for this introduction, and I must thank Franchise India team, Gaurav and Sonia, for this opportunity given to this brand to interact with more of our future partners. So I'll just share my screen presentation. So Mahindra First Choice Services is in fact reshaping Indian auto service market. So currently we are having multiple workshops across the country for multi-brand car service and multi-brand two-wheeler service. So our brand is Mahindra First Choice, any car service, and Mahindra First Choice, any bike service. So as we are from Mahindra Group, Archana has just mentioned, within Mahindra Group, we have different sectors. So we come from mobility solution sector. So company like ours, Mahindra First Choice Wheels, our sister company, which is into buying and selling of pre-owned cars, Mahindra Logistics, Meru, Glide, and few other companies are part of mobility solutions sector. So we have brands like Mahindra First Choice, any car service, any bike service, MFC spare parts, and Dioro, which is our software for garage management. This is our little bit about our journey. So we are having 500 workshops, more than 500 workshops operational across the country. 150 workshops are under setup as of now, which will join us, this network, maybe in next few months. We operate through 366 towns in the country across 25 states, and we have already done more than 25 million services. So this company was started in 2008 with our company-owned, company-operated workshops to learn this business and to understand the nitty-gritties of multi-brand service industry. And then from 2014, we started our franchise program after mastering certain, say, major challenges of this particular industry. And since then, we are growing year by year. And in 2018, we introduced a new format for multi-brand two-wheeler service, which is a very small format and ideal for many people who want to start their own small unit in their residential area or the place market area. And this year we are introducing one more format for quick service for cars, which we are calling as MFC Express. So in short, we call it MFCX. Now, before going into the details of Mahindra First Choice Services, it's very important to understand what is the canvas in which we are operating. So total service opportunity in the country in cars is 36,000 crore and two-wheelers is 60,000 crore. It's very easy to understand this, and this will help the investors to understand the potential in their respective cities. So in the country, roughly 3 crore cars are there. One car requires roughly 3 services per year. And so it gives us the volume of 9 crore services for the cars happening every year. Similarly, 60 crore services happening for two-wheelers every year. The ticket size means once the customer visit and how much he pays for the repair. So for cars, this average is 4,000 rupees. The 4,000 is the average of all types of repairs, including accidental, mechanical, and all. And it is ranging from Maruti 800 or Nano to Merc or BMW, all cars put together. So average is say 4,000. So 36,000 is the size of crore is the size of car service industry. Similarly, 60,000 crore. This is a very rough calculation to explain in a crude manner that how to understand the industry size in any city. At all India level, the 36,000 crore car service market is largely owned by independent garages. 53% is market share with them. 44% is with OEM dealers like Maruti, Hyundai, Mahindra, Tata, all those branded dealers and their authorized service centers. And 3% is with the people like us, multi-brand organized. In two-wheelers, the situation is different. 70% of the market is with independent operators and only 29% with authorized. Now, as of now, in the country, there are, on the right side, I have given the number of workshops which are available. So close to 30,000-40,000 in two-wheelers, 210,000 in two-wheelers. This includes all small single mechanic workshops also. Now, why we are excited today is that the growth of multi-brand organized industry is the fastest in the car auto service. Why? Because consumers' preferences are changing. So when we buy cars or two-wheelers, we go to the dealers for warranty services. However, for all the out-of-warranty services, all the customers prefer convenience, going to the nearby places where it can be done fast with no hassles. So that is one place we are gaining. And second is the availability of infrastructure, availability of talent, and all those things is in favor of multi-brand organized. In many small places, we have our workshop of Mahindra First Choice Services, wherein no OEM dealer is present there because the total population of vehicles does not justify a single brand workshop to be operational there, whereas in multi-brand, it justifies. So that's why we are gaining this particular favor very fast. So we have more than 500 workshops across the country, and most of them are situated in small or very small towns. So this is the overall scenario. Now let's understand an individual consumer. When a consumer buys a car or two-wheeler, initially he is very happy and he goes to the dealership for initial services till the time of warranty is getting over. And after warranty, slowly certain customers starts going towards the right side, you can see, and then a few customers start selling their cars or the two-wheelers to the second customer and then third customer. So for cars, typically, this transfer happens between 4 to 5 years first transfer and then 7 to 9 years second transfer. Now I have driven a line there, vertical line, red line. On left side is OEM or authorized or the dealership service centers. And slowly you see all cars going out to independent operators. And around 5 years of age of cars, typically 50% of the business is done by independent garages, and when the car reaches 7 to 8 years age, 100% of the business is with independent garages because the ownership has also changed by them. Now, what happens typically? You all must have experienced this. The maximum spend we do in car servicing or two-wheeler servicing is at a certain age of the vehicle. So for cars, it is between 3 to 7 years. So roughly 70% of the service spend is done between this age of the car. Why? Because when the car is getting older, with the running, it requires maintenance. Plus, when the car is getting further older, say beyond 7, 8 years, it may have changed hand, or people may try to not to retain it for too long, so the spending goes down. So 70% of the spend is happening, and we call this as the sweet spot. So this is the sweet spot for automobile servicing. And our entire business model is dependent on this sweet spot. So we are not targeting all the consumers from the, say, who has bought the car or two-wheeler just now to the oldest of the vehicle. No, we are operating and focusing on this sweet spot, and which is 70% of the business, 70% of, say, 1 lakh crore, what we have just seen. So that's what is our target. Now, what happens to consumers when the vehicle is new? Their preferences for services, what they want is the pride, ambience, hassle-less service, convenience, quality, and economy is the last. But in the second stage, the economy goes up to 4th, 5th stage, and the top is the convenience and timeliness and all those things. And in last stage, the economy takes the first place. So this is how consumers' preferences or needs change with the age of the vehicle, because the ownership is also changing and all those. So our entire business model is designed keeping these particular needs of the consumers in mind. So that's why you do not see very fancy workshops of Mahindra First Choice Services. All our workshops are functional, which are delivering what customers need in this stage. So we have 3 formats. First format is we call as Mahindra First Choice Service, MFCS 4-wheeler. In this first format, we have all kinds of services for cars, including accidental repairs, mechanical repairs, preventive maintenance, and all. The second format is MFCS 2-wheeler, where all needs of two-wheeler are taken care of. Third format, which we have recently introduced, and this is a picture of one of the canopies or the workshop set up in the petrol pump, which is called MFCX. This is a quick service format, where only mechanical services of fast in nature, they are done for, say, 60-minute kind of services. And it's a very small format, but very, very useful for consumers. So these 3 formats we are offering franchise as of now. Now, typically, if you need to compare the 3 formats, so they are compared in a table. So for the large format of 4-wheeler, the investment is to the tune of 1 CR. Now, why 1 CR? This includes the investment which is going into the building or shed and the equipments and all the working capital and everything. For Express, it is around 30 lakh, and for MFCS two-wheeler, it is to the tune of 18 to 20 lakh. Now, area requirement is 6 to 12,000 square feet for four-wheeler, 2,000 square feet for Express, and 750 to 1,000 square feet for two-wheeler. Number of bays where we operate the cars are called bays, and similarly they are called ramps in two-wheeler parlance. So these numbers are given. The working capital required, which is a part of the initial investment, is to the tune of 20 lakh for four-wheeler, because a lot of accidental spares or repairs happen there. For the Express, it is 4 to 5 lakh, and two-wheeler is very less, 2 lakh. And this is a typical steady state revenue per month that these franchises do. And their operating break-even comes pretty fast in 9 to 12 months for four-wheeler and 6 to 9 months for other two formats. And complete project break-even means total investment when it is paid off is 2.5 to 3 years. And many franchisors are already doing much better than this as of now. But when we commit to new investors, this is a kind of commitment so that we do not overcommit, and it's very, very conservative estimates we have taken. What is our franchise value proposition? Now, in this business, I have already explained to you what formats we have. Now, what we provide to our franchise is very important. So before understanding the list of what we provide, let's understand how this business is seen by the investors or the partners. So they get certain amount of vehicle inflow, it is multiplied by ticket size. So suppose a workshop is doing 300 cars in a month, and the ticket size is 4,000 rupees. So typically they earn 12 lakh as revenue. And out of that, suppose their cost is overall, everything is say 11 lakh. So they will be earning net margin of 1 lakh. This is the typical operator when they are working without us. Now, when they join us, what happened? The vehicle inflow jumps. The ticket size also goes up. Why and all we'll discuss later. As the revenue multiplies. However, what happens to the cost? In fact, the cost goes up. So their own cost goes down, whereas some additional costs happen because of our, say, addition. So why the cost goes down for a partner when they join us? Because we help them in getting infra at much economical price. The cost of goods sold, that means purchase price is lower for various things. Cost of customer acquisition goes down because of promotions we are doing. Inventory cost, carrying cost goes down because we work with a wafer-thin inventory at the workshops. Sourcing cost for various spares and others goes down. CRM or post-service feedback expenditure goes down. Cost of outsourcing to their contracts and training, all these costs go down. However, the costs which go up are, we demand a certain quality of infra, so they may have to invest there. We demand certain manpower to be there in the workshop, so the cost goes up because of the salary level also goes up because of the brand, and the skill level also goes up. And we also keep some budget for customer care. And of course, they have to pay us the fee, so that's why the costs go up. However, with the increased cost also, the net margin itself goes up. Now, what is our franchise value proposition? Since this is called value, so we determine it in tangible value form. So franchise value we calculate as margin as franchise minus margin they would earn otherwise. So this is the franchise value, which is very, very tangible, and we discuss in these terms with all our franchise partners. So whatever intangible proposition we are offering, like brand and other things, they have to translate into this kind of saving for franchisees. That's why franchisees, our whole program is very successful. Now, how these yellow portions are increasing, so let's understand. So I'll share this in the next slide. So how the vehicle inflow increases because of us, because of the brand, because of the visibility of signages, uniforms, promo templates, online promotions, digital promotions, each franchise having microsite. Then loyalty products like AMCs, warranty beyond warranty, which is a warranty product, RSM is roadside assistance, then insurance renewals. Then we have tie-ups with various fleet owners, fleet operators, and all the major insurance companies in the country. So we have these programs through which this vehicle inflow goes up. The ticket size goes up because of the brand. The consumer profile itself changes when it is coming to a branded workshop. The standard rates are up by 15-20% from the normal market. And our products we have full range availability. So that's why the ticket size goes up. So as the revenue goes up, and then the other major support comes in the sustainable part and easy part of the business, where how to make this business easy and sustainable. So we have a training support, technical support. ASBM is our flagship program, which is called Automotive Service Business Management, which is one of its kind in the country, in the world, where we give the complete training to the franchise owners before the start of the workshop. It's not technical training, it's a business training, and all the nitty-gritties of the intricacies of the business are explained. And then we give our guidance and setup during the setup time, complete handholding, spare supply through our hubs at best margins. We do promos, and SMR is service maintenance reminders, which generally we receive on when our car is due for service, which is given from our side. Then we have spare parts warehouses across the country. We call them as hubs, from where we supply the spare parts. So we tell our franchisees not to stock much inventory, because we deal in 16 lakh SKUs. Nobody can stock all of them. So how we handle this? We keep stock at our warehouses. From there, we supply to franchises without having any MOQ or minimum order quantity concept. Then we do the post-service feedback from our side. MSC is again a very, very popular program among four-wheeler franchisees, which is MFCS, Accidental Spares Credit Line, where an accidented car comes to the workshop for repair. What franchisee has to do, they have to call the insurance company, get the survey done, get the estimate approved, and then that estimate is uploaded on our portal, and we supply the spare parts to franchisees. And then franchisees repair the car, give to the customer, submit the bill to insurance company for cashless claims, and insurance company pays to us. We settle with the franchisees, and that's how it goes. So franchisee need not put the working capital from their side. Then monthly audits are done from our side. It's a very detailed audit, which helps the franchisees. Base camp is that program. Say after 6 to 8 months of running, we take the franchisees to the next level through this program. Then we help in staff recruitment. We give them industry updates, what's happening in electric vehicle, how we will change, what will happen. And then contingency support, like the time in times of COVID, we have not charged our fees from the franchisees, and we have supported the daily wage earners, which are associated with the franchisees, like car washing boys or housekeeping and other. So this is a kind of comprehensive support we are giving, and that's why we are running the successful program continuously. So coming to the commercials. So when we are giving these services, we are a company which gives very good support, and we have very good command and control over our franchisees, because we need to maintain the quality of the standards in this industry. And we charge, these are the fees charged. So for four-wheeler, it's 5.5 lakh plus taxes, the sign-up fee. For two-wheeler, 2 lakhs plus GST. For express, 2.5 lakhs plus GST. Then refundable deposits, then it's initial spares. And these are the yearly and or yearly fees, depending on the format. And then software fee. In certain cases, software fees included into the annual fee. So this is the typical fee structure. Now, many people will say that if I have to pay 10 or 15 lakh to you in a year, how will I earn? So the proof of the pudding is that many franchisees are already up and running, doing this successfully, happily. So our recruitment, this is the recruitment process. I'll not take much time here, and a lot of support we provide during the project stage. So all those details are there. And then what we look into the franchise, how we select, we must be very transparent. So we tell our franchise partners that what we are looking at. So first is, we want people who can devote time, who can be involved in the business, and who are staying very near to the workshop site. It should not be that they are coming from 100 kilometers away. So no, it has to be very near, because they should have their circle there. They should have command over the complete business. We want local entrepreneurial participation. And then this is a kind of retail business, so site has to be at good location. So we help franchisee in locating site, or if the site is already available, we evaluate it from various parameters, from visibility, access, and all those. And then we also see whether kind of industrial activity can happen in that site also for four-wheeler. And for two-wheeler, it's not coming in the industry, so it can be open in marketplace also. And then financial capability of the franchisees. And this is our right franchise partners. And in our current franchise partners, 75% of them are from non-auto background. So they did not have any background from auto industry. So they are from real estate or mining or maybe hotel or jewelry or whatever. So they are coming from all sorts of businesses. And mostly this is business is preferred by partners who want to say start a new venture for the second generation, or people who are salaried who want to leave the IT job or medical job from abroad. They want to come and settle here. So those are our franchisees mainly. So this is typical our franchise partners, and this is how our four-wheeler workshops look. This is a two-story. Generally, we do not recommend for two-story. And this kind of office is there, neat and clean workshop, and all equipments. So everything is, say, spick and span, and that's why consumers feel that this is a kind of very good hospital for their cars. And this is a typical P&L for a four-wheeler workshop. So you can see first year, hardly any profit. However, from second year onwards, the profits are there. And this is a very typical this thing we have given, and they are into 2 CR kind of revenue. This particular franchisee sample is 2 CR kind of revenue in 5 years, 2 to 2.5 CR. Many of our franchisees are doing 4 CR business in four-wheeler. This is our two-wheeler format where we have office, and then these are the ramps, and these trolleys are especially customized, designed by our engineers. And so in one trolley, everything can be taken care of. So very neat and clean workshop, and which comes in a very, very less investment. And this is typical P&L for two-wheeler. So first year, 30 lakh around business, going around 50 to 60 lakh in future. Our earning is going from 5 lakh to 20 lakh in continuously. Now, one may ask that why the earning is going so high where the revenue is not going so high, because the cost of a customer acquisition goes down as we already have a customer base. So those customers keep on coming to us because of our good services. And this is typical P&L for our express model. So 50 lakh to 1 crore revenue. And this is the kind of EBT they are earning. So this is the typical say detail of all these formats. And now we'll go through one of our video, which is our promise to the consumers, free ke baad first choice. When your free services are over, come to us. So I'll request the franchising team to run the video, please. And post the video, we'll have the discussion.
जब कार सर्विस फ्री हो
सब कुछ अच्छे से चेक करो
जी।
क्लच, सस्पेंशन।
सर वो पिछली बार किया
हाँ तो फिर से करो, और एसी भी चेक करो।
एसी?
हाँ एसी।
हाँ।
जब कार सर्विस पेड हो।
गर्मी लग रही है ना, एसी सर्विस कराना पड़ेगा।
एसी तो मैं वैसे भी नहीं चलाता।
डेंट तो बनवाना पड़ेगा।
डेंट नहीं है, डिम्पल है, डिम्पल।
मिस्टर डिम्पल, जब फ्री सर्विस खत्म हो जाए तो चले आइए महिंद्रा फर्स्ट चॉइस एनी कार सर्विस, जहां आपको मिले ऑनेस्ट एडवाइस और सर्विस, तो फ्री के बाद फर्स्ट चॉइस।
Yeah, thank you.
Very interesting. You know, this is happens with everybody who goes to OEM for free. Then they want more, but as OEM start charging you, you start shifting, and actually they push you out. You know, so the service when you go for, even for taking an estimate, that is the time you are actually pushed out. So people are left with either two choices: one, go to unreliable garage, which by nature looks like that somebody would put wrong parts to you, and couple of things other than that would happen, or even take your original parts and duplicate change that. I mean, a lot of people have a myth that if you go to garage, they would take your original parts out and put new ones there. So people were very insecure leaving their car for even 1 hour to independent garages. So I think the positioning was very, very clear that you come as a third party, branded and being promoted by a large OEM company themselves, which comes with generations of credibility. And I think I saw a poll when Anand Mahindra has been actually rated as one of the most ethical 10 entrepreneurs in the country. And and he's been seen as a very ethical operator himself. So there is a huge legacy by the founders themselves and the company behind it, and almost every member I've met in Mahindra Group actually speaks for the same values. So it's a tremendous opportunity, and we have at Franchise India have extreme long-term relationship with First Choice and with Mahindra Group, and we also now taking our relationship ahead of taking the opportunity to the market. So I'll start with few questions which I think our audience should know, and they should also know why this is so critical in today's time to have a branded third-party service providing chain, and why it is so important. The three things which are very important for a business of service, and this is not an easy capability. It looks like that any garage owner can, with a little bit of experience, can open a vehicle and repair the vehicle. It is a very complex process. Why it is so complex? I call it a cost theory, which means change cycles are become very, very high. So which means the kind of automobiles coming in the market are changing every day. The technology is changing every day. The regular mechanics have no idea how they can handle that. So only large companies would have capabilities to cope up with that change. And they would not be able to, independent garage would not be able to handle that. Most of the times he will experiment on your vehicle because he has no ability to understand that vehicle. Any new vehicle comes in. Second, I think the adaptability, especially on a cars or bikes, every zone has a different kind of a market share. So in some cases, you will have a particular car has a more market share, and it can even happen between one city neighborhoods also. In one place, you will find Tata has a market share, and somewhere you would have somebody has a market share. So how do you really bring predictability to the business model, and how do you bring adaptability to every single unit is very, very critical. Third, which is the most critical part, which is S, is sustainability. And sustainability, the problem with two-wheelers and four-wheelers, especially with two-wheelers, the bigger problem is that they have a big downtime, because every time you go to them, they don't have a spare part. This guy would have to send somebody to the market. Most of the time, he will not able to source a spare part, or he will have to re-engineer something, and your vehicle would lie there in the garage for sometimes weeks and 2 weeks and 3 weeks because the spare part is not available. And then he opens up the vehicle, and then because of this inefficiency of the supply of spare part, you're not even able to get the vehicle back. It causes a lot of frustration for people who are not able to do that because their spare parts are not easily available. And spare parts is a very complex situation, as a couple of million spare parts are available. You know, every bike is unique, every car is unique, and there are multiple components go into that. So, and now if you start storing that spare part in your business, then you build a lot of inventory and a lot of dead inventory, because you might not get a vehicle. So one of the things which I think First Choice has simplified for everybody is this sustainability part of it. So that gives a big comfort. So change cycles, adaptability, and also sustainability through a lot of supply chain of spare parts makes the business model extremely interesting. And I will start with Kapoor Saab in terms of getting your viewpoint. I personally feel that this is the best time for you to have a franchise offering going in the market. And because of COVID, I think a lot of operator franchises are available. Why is operator franchise? क्योंकि हमारी सबकी struggle ये रहती है कि जो franchisee आते हैं वो कभी-कभी investor होते हैं और वो अपने business में खुद काम नहीं करते. And now, because I think this all has changed, a lot of people are available. And what is your viewpoint I would like to take, which don't mind working in their own business, work hard. And I think the performance of franchises would also go up because of the entrepreneur participating. तो अगर आप उस पर कुछ statistics दे सकें कि आपके existing franchisees में जो लोग खुद काम करते हैं या खुद operate करते हैं या खुद business में आते हैं, how their success is. So over to you, Kapoor Saab.
Thank you for the compliments, and thank you for this question. It's very, very important. So as I mentioned, the local entrepreneurial participation is the key in this business. So we tell our franchisee partners that it's an equal need from both sides. The way they need us, we also need them. The way they need certain qualities from us, in us, we also need those qualities in them, similar qualities or similar expectations. So what we expect from them is that they have to give time for this business. There has to be a passion for customer service, automobile, and moreover, dealing with customers, dealing with, say, a lot of complications. So that gives, that pays actually in this business. So what had happened when this COVID lockdown was announced and suddenly all the workshops were stopped, the biggest problem for us was we had more than 15,000 vehicles with us, locked in our workshops, and customers were without those vehicles. And typically 2 months, those vehicles remained with us, and quickly we started delivering as and when the workshop started opening. Now the good news is that many of our workshops got the permission during lockdown to start their operations when all other businesses were shut. Because this comes under essential services, they were preparing the vehicles for corona warriors, doctors, police, administration, all those vehicles. So certain workshops like Badmer, Udgir, maybe small places, we are getting permissions and they are opening. So this is one item. It is not like apparel or saloon or spa where this comes in the last in priority for government. This item is a priority of a government also. One is that. Secondly, when this lockdown is lifting, right now many businesses are trying to restart. Whereas for us, as of yesterday, 96% of our workshops were operational, and they were up and running at 75% of their normal volume. So this month we have already serviced close to 30,000 vehicles. So this is a good part, which we also realize that in tough time, challenging time, this business is gaining momentum or as compared to other businesses. First is that. And we feel pride in serving the vehicles for corona warriors. That's a good thing. Second is when we have seen this migration, reverse migration, or whatever you call it, not for the say daily wage earners, but many people have gone to their native places, and after reaching there, they realized, oh, this is the right place to live. Why can't I start some small venture here? To our surprise, we started getting a lot of inquiries from all the interiors of the country during the lockdown period for new businesses. And this is the right time when they are changing their gears, so they can change the business, and this is a very good business to enter. And best part is this is a proven business model. So you cannot have a doubt that if I start a workshop, whether it will succeed or not. This is an up and running business. Everybody can do it. But what we add here is how to do it with sustainability, how to do it with the quality, how to do it with the complete customer satisfaction and with pride. So that's what we deliver, and all our franchisee partners are happy working with us because of this. So for two-wheelers, we have designed this model or format in such a manner that it's a very micro workshop kind of thing. A dealer from Honda or Hero or maybe other brands may have very large workshop, whereas we are operating from small workshops, which is having just 2 to 3 ramps and 3 to 4 people working there. So a consumer need not wait there for job card opening for long hours, and they come there and get the job done very quickly. So this we are reaching near to consumer's place. So that's what is giving us the big success in two-wheeler. And in two-wheeler, the need for this particular branded workshop in multi-brand was immense, was there. And when we entered it, what we tested actually, we did a pilot in Pune first and then in Patna. So we started our workshops in Patna to check whether customers walk in, drive in without any promotion or not. So we just started shops without any promotion, and we checked it. How does the customer inflow happen without promotion? And we have found it that it was very good. And based on that, we prepared an entire marketing program for two-wheeler.
Absolutely, very, very helpful. And if current times, because this is very neighborhood business, people can start, and especially I think it's a tremendous opportunity in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities. Tremendous opportunity, I think, because a lot of aging of cars actually start going there. So cars keep moving from urban cities to those cities and so on. So you already have a lot of vehicle population which would need this kind of service, and rather it would become a quality assurance. And those markets have actually other challenges also. In Delhi and Bombay and Bangalore, you still have a large spare part markets where local garage can source. But when you are in a smaller city like a Bathinda or a smaller other city, you don't have those markets also. So person has to really have a tag time going and finding out. So there is a lot of slowdown on that. And people want urgent services, real-time services. You have only one vehicle. You cannot park that in a garage and wait for your service to come. So I have a couple of questions on supply chain. What is the TAT you have for spare parts to reach? That's one. Second, what are happening on the training part? And especially now, how you will manage because you have a network all over India. So even a new franchisee can, rather than traveling to maybe your Nasik center or other places, you can have them even trained in your existing workshops, which are close by. So what is, I would have two questions. One, a little bit on the supply chain, how the supply chain works, and on the this, and also if you can also a pricing structure, market price.
Very good.
Because sometimes people think that the spare parts are locally cheaper available and things like that. So over to you.
So first, I would like to prefer answering the last question about the pricing, because that relates to consumer. So for consumer, if they bring the car to Mahindra First Choice Services workshop, they have to pay roughly 10 to 15% lower than what they would have paid to the OEM dealer. And if they further go to say independent garages, yes, we are costlier than the independent garages by around 10 to 15%. So this we are in between in terms of pricing from say unauthorized garage to an OEM dealer. So this is one point. Coming to the spare parts is a very, very complicated thing in aftermarket. And that's why it took us 5 years from 2008 to 2015 roughly, 2013 roughly, to crack that particular piece, that how to arrange spare parts quickly without say forcing the franchisee or the last mile to stock it. So we deal in 16 lakh SKUs for 16 manufacturers of cars and 8 manufacturers for two-wheeler, and roughly each car has 3,500 parts, each two has 4 parts, and it's a nightmare. But we have algorithm by now. with our experience, we have the algorithm that in which particular catchment in a city, what item will move. So when we entered Nellore market long back in 2012-13, we realized that Nellore was one market where Tata population was more than Maruti. And then to what has happened, the moment we entered that market, it so happened that Tata dealer closed because of some issues. And suddenly we had the influx of Tata vehicles. So because we were prepared with this data, we could do. So that algorithm of vehicle available in that catchment helps us in planning. One is that. Secondly, all the fast moving items like filters, brakes or belts and everything is kept at the workshop. The second set of parts are kept at our warehouse. Third set of parts are kept at our regional or central warehouse. And fourth set of items are with OEM. We do not keep them. So they are very, very rare in say requirement. So what happens in accidented vehicles, we get a lot of time because of the insurance approval, survey and all those things are involved and customers are not also. So though customers' time is important, but we get the reasonable time there. For mechanical repair vehicles, that's why we work on a lot of appointments. So we have appointment concept where we call customers to book their appointment. So we know that tomorrow in which particular workshop, how many Maruti 800 or Maruti WagonR vehicles are coming and how many Zen are coming, I know. So from that basis, I already check my inventory and based on that, we plan and we move the inventory. So every day, movement of inventory is happening from all our hubs to all the, say, franchises. So this kind of robust algorithm planning is there. That's why we are able to. So roughly more than 100 odd persons are working in our team in spare parts supply. So second is our relationship with the distributors and the OEM manufacturers. So what is happening actually? Because of our scale, now we are able to support the volumes of these suppliers, and they also started recognizing us, and we get very good deals and terms and that also from them. So I'll not be able to answer your question precisely that what is my TAD. Because of 16 lakh SKUs, the TADs are different. And they will differ from, say, Silchar to Bhavnagar. So that's why there's no standard answer to that question. But it's reasonable and we are able to do business with consumers with that TAD.
No, I appreciate that. And also I would like to touch upon because most of the times, especially in the bigger jobs, people would have to take insurance because that is delayed in tagging. And today, being a branded chain and relationship at a corporate level, you have a lot of relationship in insurance companies, which I think independent garage, because I keep insisting that it's a conversion market. Conversion means that people are moving from these independent mom and pop unorganized to a more organized and specialized brands like yours. So this shift is bigger shift. We are not going and competing with OEMs. OEMs is not right. Rather, OEM is a big supplier to your business. They
Yes.
push out and you get the business. Your business actually is shifting from this unorganized garage which are coming to you. So, and these garage versus your relationship with insurance, a little bit insight on that, and then I'll pass it on to Sonia for her questions.
So all the insurance companies in the country, they love us because we help them in reduction of their claim cost. So we get a lot of support from all the insurance companies. We have tie-up with all the major insurance companies in the country. And all our workshops are having cashless facility from all these insurance companies, including two-wheeler workshops. So this is a very, very big thing. And roughly in many workshops, 60% of the revenue comes from accidental repairs from insurance companies. That is also happening. So insurance, other thing is insurance penetration in India is also going up after the change in the policies. So now the 3-year compulsion of four-wheeler and 5 years for two-wheeler is there for the insurance when the vehicles are sold. So because of that, the penetration of insurance is going up, and that's why this business is further gaining momentum. You also asked a question about skill. So how we are handling the skill part, the training. So first is training. A lot of training is happening online these days, not only in COVID time, but before this also, we have our own training module. And all our operators at the workshops are trained on the electronic module through, we call it electronic module because it's online and interactive as well. So it's a different thing. It's not, it will take time to explain that particular module. It's a specialized thing. So they get training on that module and they get tests done on that module. And every day, every week, they get updates on that module. So they operate their feature phone or smartphone these days. Now, what happens in the workshops, if they are receiving a car, if they are not able to understand any technical point, they quickly take the photograph and share with our experts and we order them. So far in last 6 years of franchising, it never happened that any of our person had to travel from his location to any workshop to repair the car. So we are able to give the this thing online. And coming to the franchisees training, yes, it is done online, as well as when this, hopefully this COVID thing goes out, and then our Nashik center will be operational again. So we'll be able to do the conduct the training again. Thank you.
Thank you. Over to you, Sonia, for your remarks and questions.
Thank you, Alokji. I was going through the presentation. I would say it was so insightful, giving a broad overview of the industry, the category, and your brand specifically. That perhaps does not lead too many questions, but I still have something which I want to add and maybe reiterate from what you have talked about, the life cycle of the car owner, which moves from pride to convenience to economy. And I personally feel that Mahindra First Choice is a combination of all. You balance amongst these three life cycles that you explained. And second, on the margins, and this is for all the viewers, when you have a higher value proposition, you have higher margins, because your value which has been created minus the cost of value is what margins are, and which has been beautifully explained in the presentation, Alokji. Now, if you go by the stats which you talked about, there are almost 35% of out of warranty cars which go back to authorized stations, and the rest 65% they head back to unorganized garages. And out of that, between 3 to 4% is now with the MBOs, which are now the trend. And out of this, I was reading the competition also, but out of the entire, which are very few, but 3-4 odd players, Mahindra is leading, and I feel the reason being the quality, trust, affordability, and flexible car service alternative which people look today. And you touched upon an important point, which is rather insurance. And today, a lot of these insurance companies are looking at MBOs as a preferred partner, because MBOs rather prefer repair over a replacement, which most of the OEMs do. Alokji, my question to you would be, while you did talk about the cost of service for an average consumer, which is about 15 to 20% less, I also want to understand, because a lot of your Mahindra cars from the OEMs will also come to your stations, how much of that difference is to a customer, in terms of percentage, one. And second, if you can also give maybe an overview of the segmentation, which is based on the regions, how much revenue, what regions, based on the warranty status, car type, and brand. And what is the kind of service split, if you can answer, between 20 to 80, what percentage of the business or the segment gives you 80% of business?
Okay, excellent question. So, first question about Mahindra. So our company, Mahindra First Choice Services, is brand agnostic. So there is no preference or any special treatment to any particular brand. So the way I said, we are 10 to 15% lower in terms of consumer pricing for all brands. So it holds good for all the brands. There is no special treatment for any brand. This is one. Secondly, in our revenue or in our volume, whenever we start, some people feel that this is a Mahindra workshop and it's only for Mahindra workshop vehicles. So initially we may get a good percentage of Mahindra vehicles, but as the time passes, our share of Mahindra business, or from our portion of Mahindra business. So if out of 100 cars, if in population Mahindra is having 15 cars in market, so our share is also around 15% in that market. So it's very, very natural. There is no special thing we see towards Mahindra. However, Mahindra vehicles are generally bigger in nature. It's Bolero or Scorpio or XUV. So whereas they are bigger and costlier than the other popular cars in the country like Maruti and Hyundai. So that's why the ticket size is higher in Mahindra. So that's why the proportion may be 15% or so, but value share is higher than that. So this is the one thing. Then you asked about 80-20, this thing. So roughly 50% of our business in car servicing is from accidental repairs as of now. So remaining 50%, the major business comes from running repairs. When the consumer is having some kind of trouble with the car and they want to quickly get it fixed, so they purchase. That particular segment we call as running repair is giving us maximum returns.
Great. Alokji, second thing which, while we did talk about, I still want to go back and perhaps maybe dig further on that is, for you, customer value proposition is the foundation. And since you work across a lot of these car segment processes, what kind of training is provided to the technical staff? Because today the kind of next generation cars we have, they're equipped with a lot of complex electrical, digital, mechanical systems. So how does that training is imparted to the people is one of my questions, and which I see a lot of our participants also asking. And the responsibility of hiring is at the local level, or you also would hire some staff on their behalf and at the local level. So whose responsibility it is, and how long is that training period?
Okay, so first is, if any workshop if they are not able to handle any particular complex car, we say no to the consumer. So we do not take the car and open and learn, no. So this is very clear in all our workshops. So we have no shy in telling no to a consumer for whom we cannot provide service. So if somebody is bringing Ford Mondeo, which he purchased in 2003, for servicing at our workshop, we'll say no, because we don't want to learn on that car and spoil it. So we already have a list of cars which our franchisees can take. Beyond that, the job card, it does not allow to open the job card. The billing cannot happen. This is one control. Secondly, when the cars are coming, when a particular car is launched, as I told you, free ke baad first choice. So we get 2 to 3 years clear window to prepare ourselves for that servicing. So if a car is launched today, I get 3 years or window to learn that car and learn all the intricacies, all the electronics and everything. So generally the cars which are launched in India, they are also launched in Europe market and other places. So there we get to, from there we get a lot of electronic support and software support. So not an issue. So we do not service the cars from the day of sale. So this is one good part. That's why I'm calling it a sweet spot. So all favorable things are there. Secondly, when it comes to any complicated repair, if the vehicle, the workshop is stuck, so we monitor the TAT to consumer very closely. So if any vehicle is more than say certain hours or certain days standing at the workshop, so I get a escalation, and then I have a complete team, so it escalates at certain level, and then action is taken. So over telephone, over say video calling, a lot of problems are solved, and the training for workshop takes time. Sometimes the workshop people, we recruit the people, they are trained, and still they are not able to pass the test. So we say sorry, we need to have another person. So we are very strict in terms of training and qualification of the workmen there, because those workshop technicians are making or breaking our business. So they are very important. They are surgeons. So surgeon has to be equipped and fully trained and fully aware of what's the human body. Same way here. So these surgeons are say very respected and highly qualified.
Thank you. Alokji, I have a lot of questions, and I'll take one of them, which is on the radius, because you already run about 500 odd centers across the country. What kind of radius is given to a new franchisee is one of the questions which I'm seeing asked by many investors.
Yes. So when we started the program, we already identified the catchment. So this is a very catchment oriented business. So in a city, a particular city may have 5 catchments, other city may have only 2 catchments. So we have already identified 1,500 catchments across the country from where we'll appoint the franchisees without interfering to each other. So right now we have appointed say around 400 or 400 few for 4-wheelers. So another say 1,100 catchments are still free where people can apply. So that's not an issue. And we are fully concerned about the profitability of each and every workshop. For each workshop, P&L is discussed with the workshop owner by our team every month. And we make them sensitized from day one about the profitability, and we do not allow them to spend unnecessary things in the workshop decoration. Okay. So P&L and the interference, we are very, very particular.
Okay. One question which I also saw, and I don't know, maybe we didn't talk about that, is what kind of services are given through these workshops, and what kind of average ticket price we have between, I would say, bike and the car, and typically what are the area of services which are provided?
So as of now, in C category towns, because the labor rates in C category is a little lower, so our ticket size was roughly 5,000 rupees. This is without taxes, and in this includes accidental, mechanical, all kinds of, so average. So for a consumer it may be 1,000, and for other consumer it may be 10,000, depending on the service. In B category town, our ticket size is around 6,200, and A category is 7,200. But it does not mean for every car we are charging 7,000 rupees. So
right. Sir, आपका average जो आपका repeat customer होता है, how much is that on an average across all your centers? How many repeat customers average would come back to you?
So we call them old customer, new customer in our parlance. So roughly after say a year of service, the old customer should be 50% of the total volume. So we monitor workshops on that basis. So in terms of retention percentage, if you ask the way other industries are doing, so I'll answer this question in a different manner. So we measure the life cycle value for each consumer. So how much is average life cycle value each workshop is getting from consumers? So average life cycle value from consumer is to the tune of 8 to 10,000 rupees for workshops.
Okay. Okay, I have a question because a lot of people might also look at some kind of loan facility to start the venture. Is there any tie-up with any institution, including Mahindra Finance? Is one of the questions which I see from our viewers.
We do have tie-ups, and we have tie-up with SBI, the largest bank in the country, and we have tie-ups with other financiers also. And around 70% of our workshops are already registered as MSME. So they are also getting preference from the new government policies.
You mute.
All the MSME clusters are now extending a lot of value, and with the registration of Mahindra, I think you can really reach out to MSME, and they are giving very good loans and a good terms and good relief structures also, which means that early first year they don't load too much on that. So if entrepreneur is one, I normally say don't take loans. Try to start with your own capital. Some people are asking if you don't have capital, fully capital for four-wheeler, maybe start with a two-wheeler or express one, which is a good opportunity. It's a lower cost, but if you intend to start, but try to do with your own capital or with some equity. But if you still want to take a loan, then take with the cheapest loan option available from public sector banks or MSME, rather than going with these personal loans or NBFCs and things. I have nothing against them, but cost of capital can sometimes put a lot.
On a lighter note, I would like to add, I tell my franchisees, go for a small loan, because if loan is there, then a kind of discipline is there, and
that also
is not there.
I agree. I think that's a good way. This is actually used in America big time. They always encourage you to give you mortgage because they pull that as an entrepreneur, you sweat out your money and take the money out, and you get more operators in rather than investors in who have capital. But I have a little view on that because India cost of capital is higher. Because if you take 14-15% interest rate,
so certainly people should not go for personal loan. Certainly.
Yeah. So and also because the gestation time is a little higher, it takes at least 12 months for one center to break even is what we saw. So that makes a big time frame for an individual to get back. One question, Alokji, which I want to take up, and rest I feel we have kind of covered, is on the royalty. We didn't talk about that. Is there any kind of monthly fee or a percentage which is taken from the franchisee on the total revenue that he makes?
So I mentioned it as a yearly or a 3 years fee. So for two-wheeler, it is 3 yearly fee. For other formats, it is yearly fee. So yearly fee is fixed in nature. So we do not have any variable revenue sharing model, because if I have a revenue sharing model with my own franchisee, then franchisee will have all the tendency to hide the revenue from me. And if they hide the revenue, then all kind of hanky-panky things start. So that's why we want to keep it very transparent between us and franchisees. There's nothing on which we and franchisee will fight. We go together in market and we get the business. So there's no hidden things between us.
Great. I think with that, we've kind of covered almost all the questions. I do have a question, which is if you can help us in setting up second-hand, and that's a different business. Vishal, I see you with a question. If you can set up a second-hand bike and car, this separate business of Mahindra. If you're interested, we can deal with that separately. And I have similar questions which are for the other vertical and other businesses and the sectors. And anybody who's interested in that, we can deal with them separately. Because that's a different business model altogether.
So I think it was very, very helpful, and I think still questions would keep coming in. They're more specific in their own geographical location, their own sectors which they want to do it. I think we need the elaborate discussion, and Kursaab has a big team and spread all over India. So we at Franchise India would encourage you, if you reach out to us, and our teams also will proactively reach out to you, set up over next week 101 calls, and to run a little bit of and because of large group, they are very stringent on selection process. So the selection process has to be followed. As I said, there is a complete screening structure which they have, and this is historic in the group because being an OEM foundation company, so they have in the OEM business. I mean, I tell you, in Mahindra, they would do a full DD exercise, and there's a separate agency rating to be done before you are given a dealership. But in First Choice, they are, I think, still simpler. They do an internal exercise to review the profile, and you don't have to go to third-party agency to get your validation done. So at Franchise India, we are extremely proud to have a very long-term partnership with First Choice, and now we're extending that partnership on two-wheelers, getting into aggressively in the market. And we feel that two-wheeler is a very large marketplace. We can have even 5,000 franchisees in no time in this space, and we are very committed at Franchise India to take that opportunity ahead because we have a full faith on the capability of the group. I personally have the highest regard for what this enterprise has been built. This is built on a lot of strong values, and so we would like to encourage more and more entrepreneurs to go out and look at an opportunity and invest here. These are honest numbers. They have performance already on the ground. I know there were difficult times in the initial days when First Choice was started, but they've passed that stage. And now economy of scale has come in. The brand has found its own foundation. So very, very helpful, Kapoor Saab, I think, for getting this you on the block, and then the way you presented also was very elaborate, and it showed particularly I like the multiplier effect, which means that because of the brand you get more people coming in, and because you get a higher ticket because of the brand. So this whole creates a multiplier effect. If you go and you do your calculation by numbers, it is not A plus A. It's actually A plus C. This multiplier is even more higher number. So you get a higher quotient on that. So that is a big value which everybody should understand. Why franchise? Because franchise brings in a not just by one parameter of your business, which is not more customers in, but also more ticket value and better productivity. All these three bring better performance on bottom line. So last remarks from you, Alok ji and Sonia from your side.
So thanks Gaurav and Sonia for this wonderful session. And to all the investors, I would say that this is a very exciting business to be in, and this helps you in remaining connected with the people in the catchment and around. However, I want to mention one caution. You all know Group Chairman, Mr. Anand Mahindra is on Twitter. So any consumer, if he is not happy with you, will tweet to Mr. Anand Mahindra. Be ready for that. So you can understand what kind of pressures with which we need to give the customer service. So if you are ready for that kind of customer service, then this is the field. Welcome.
And this is also, he's taught everybody, actually, every single corporate should learn from Anand Mahindra what he's done. And I respect for him that he's come on the, in the front and taken the responsibility. And it's very tough, it's easy to say, but with a company which has spread in the worldwide in many countries, many products, many disciplines, people don't know how many investments he runs. So it's a big responsibility to manage. Over to you, Sonia.
Thank you so much, Alok ji. I feel the challenge with companies, bigger companies like you, is not just getting in the front but staying there. But I personally feel Mahindra has always found new sources of competitive advantage that has always kept you ahead of everybody else, and we are really proud to partner with you in this next journey of penetration. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for this wonderful session.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Really.
Thanks, Archana and Franchise India team.
Thank you.
Archana, over to you, please.
Sure. So thank you so much all the participants. We exactly got 93 queries, unique queries from you. Most of them are answered by our panelists, Gaurav, Sonia and Alok ji. For rest of the regional, we'll definitely get back to you. Our regional team, as per your region, will connect with you through mailers, through WhatsApp, through calls. You can also connect with Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their respective LinkedIn ID. That's the information given at your screen. But before we go, we have another great brand, Rasna. जी हाँ, सबने बचपन में पिया होगा, सबने बचपन में इसका नाम सुना होगा. Great brand. Tomorrow, special Sunday edition for Rasna, where Gaurav sir, Sonia ma'am talking about this brand, and I'm sure we will revisit our sweet childhood memories with this particular brand. We are giving you opportunity, business opportunity for Rasna, where Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am will talk about business opportunity for each one of you. With this, we thank you, Alok sir, for taking out time talking about Mahindra and how you operate, what kind of the value you are given in market. Thank you so much, Gaurav sir, Sonia ma'am. As usual, you are sharing great insights about industry, about franchisee that is helping actually our investor to select the proper brand, right selection of brand for them. With this note, I am just sharing information to all my participants, all the friends, attendees who have joined. You can connect with Franchise India team through different mode. That includes call. You can directly call us. You can write to us, and you can follow us on our social IDs also. Gaurav sir has also mentioned his email ID. You can reach him directly, and we would love to help you with each and every probable help from our side. With this information, and also one more important information, if you want to revisit this video, the recorded version of entire episode is there at the Facebook of Franchise India Brands Limited and Franwork. Do visit us again, see that video. Thank you so much everyone once again for joining us at Franchise India. We wish for great health and great safety for everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.
Great weekend, all of you. Thank you. Stay safe.